I'm a super competitive person naturally, so I wanted to come in and make a big impact straight away. When the season started and we won that first game, we were up and about. We thought this is amazing. And then you sort of roll to the next week and we got smashed, and then week after week we just kept getting beat. And I saw football in a different light that first season. I think part of me almost resented footy in a way that was like, it's not meant to be like this. I'm meant to have some fun with it. I'm meant to have some enjoyment. I think I really struggled sort of with my love and passion for footy at that time, and had to kind of do a lot to pick myself back up after year one. I almost came through at like a good age. I didn't quite get the experience that the girls get now with it, but I got to play under 16s at the state school level, which was an incredible experience. I got to play in the under 18 champs. I was in that year when Victoria then moved to Vic Country, Vic Metro, and I was a part of Vic Metro with it. Then was able to be a part of the exhibition games. Initially I was with Melbourne, and then in the last exhibition game I had got picked up as a marquee player to come to the Doggies, which was a complete shock to me that they had called me up. I just remember getting it announced and like it going to the media the day before it was officially announced. So all these people were messaging me, and then I was getting like all these private messages being like, from women being like, this is amazing, like you're a role model now, and having that put onto you, it was like, well, that's, I never saw myself in this light by any means. I'm just sort of a person who just loved playing footy and enjoyed playing footy. You were the first one that was put into the league. You were part of that first group of people that could call themselves AFLW players. I feel like there's an added layer of expectation, not just to play football at a high level now, but to represent the women that walked before me, to represent women's footy in a good fashion that, you know, people respect and really like. Having to work full time in my first year was a real battle. My life was scattered. I didn't really communicate much to my friends. I didn't get to see my friends as much, so I lost a lot of connection there. And that balance, that first season, I was so fatigued when I got to the end of the year. It was just a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, and then trying to fit everything in. I almost sort of was, in a way, like hating life. I would be set off so easily, and I do apologise to my family now. They'd want to know, they were curious about footy because obviously at the stage at what it was, like it was really exciting for sort of my close family and friends, and anytime they'd ask me about it, I'd crack it. I'd be like, why do you want to know? Just mind your own business. I'll tell you on another day. Like, I'm not telling you now. I wasn't my happy, cheer self that I sort of pride myself on being. I wasn't, you know, the caring, loving person that I try to be. I know people say you need to work to live, but like I got to a point where I wasn't happy working. I wasn't enjoying my life. I was going to work really miserable, really sad and upset, and would go home and I wasn't myself, and I probably wasn't a fun person to be around. So I lost that connectedness to me and to my people, so I had to make that decision, and I've never looked back, to be honest. It was probably the best decision I made, and it was probably the most personal one I'd made for myself at that point in time. It took a bit of time to sort of get myself out of that funk, so I had to sort of figure out how to approach it, and I didn't really know anything at the time. Like I didn't really know what to do or how to approach it. And a couple of the things that I sort of learnt from those experiences and talking to our team psych was about learning the art of gratitude and savouring. Something I do a lot of is actually talking to people and letting them know what I'm grateful for. And savouring's a unique one because it made me actually love running and training and all that, but it also helped sort of my mental health. Whether it was stopping for a moment and just taking a deep breath in and really enjoying the moment, or taking a photo. I've actually got an album in my phone of like selfies of me like after training. I look back at them every so often and I'm like, I did that. I actually turned that into a fun experience. I had to learn how to be vulnerable and talk to people and be open, which was scary, but it's also pretty courageous to do that stuff as well. Funnily enough, actually my dad had mentioned it to me last year in particular. He was like, you're just happy coming home from footy now. He's like, I feel like you lost that for a little bit, but he was like, you just seem like you're enjoying it, like it's a really good place to be. And yeah, and I mean, he was probably the person I took it out on the most, because he was the one that wants to know the most, probably because he's the most proudest of me. He's been able to see that shift from time to time, but he would definitely say, like, you're at a really strong place now with it, and it's because of these things that I've been able to incorporate and made a real focus on my mental health and making sure that that's okay. And yeah, I'm glad that he's been able to observe that and notice it, and I'm glad that he mentioned it to me. It's been a long journey to be sort of at this stage, and to be able to talk about it comfortably as well is something that, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done early on, but now it's like I'm a proud advocate for it, to be honest.